What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to YGO Podcast. I got a special one for you here today. I got Naturia's. So we're going to go ahead and get into the deck profile. If you don't know, just a quick disclaimer. Can you guys please click that subscribe button for the channel and also like the video? It really helps promote the videos that I got in the feed. We're up to 181 subscribers. That's awesome. Excellent. I can't wait for us to start doing combo and deck profile videos combined. So if you guys can hit that subscribe button, that really would make the difference. And once we hit 200, I can start doing these combo videos and everything. I can put a little bit more investment into this, so that way we can get some more in-depth analysis for each of these deck profiles. All right, so without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into it. Most of you guys that are watching this already understand what most of these cards do. So let's go ahead and go over it real fast. So for the Naturia lineup, you're going to be running 3 of your Naturia Mole. So if you're not familiar with Naturia Mole, it's essentially kind of, it's your starter card. It's your Rescue Rabbit. It special summons your Naturias. And then you're going to be running 3 Naturia Camilla. So these are pretty much standard for the new Naturia build. What Naturia has become, and what it's always been, has been pretty much a stun control deck. So a lot of the aspects you'll see in this deck are forms of stun. There's just a little bit faster now. Camilla is acting kind of like a foolish burial. She sends a monster. She also replaces the costs of any of your Naturias that happen to use their effects to tribute themselves or tribute another monster. She'll replace that cost with milling instead. And then for your last bit of Naturias, I know you guys are going to probably this is probably the most spicy part of the build, but you're going to be running 1 Sunflower, and Sunflower is going to be your monster effect negation. You're going to be running 1 Stink Bug, and Stink Bug is going to be your battle basically your battle negation. So essentially it just ends the battle phase. And then you're going to be running 1 Naturia Vein. And this is really important. Matter of fact, I watched this earlier today where an individual was playing this version of the deck, but he was not running Naturia Vein. And what ended up happening was during the draw phase of the opponent's turn, they activated Book of Eclipse, and they booked all of his monsters face down. Now, if he had Naturia Vein out, he would have been able to negate that because he had Camilla on the field, he had Chen Ying, and so on and so forth, but he was not able to stop that Book of Eclipse and thus got wiped out for that game. So you might want to reconsider playing Naturia Vein. And for the last one, 1 Antjaw. So, for Naturias, you really want to, a lot of people want to keep this package roughly around 8 cards, maybe even 7 if possible. I really do want you guys to think about how many you're running in your deck and kind of up that count a little bit more, just so you'll have some more versatility within the meta. The more cards you have access to, the better off you'll be. You won't necessarily brick too hard because you have other cards to help mitigate that, like your Verna Sylph cards, as you'll see, and also some Ishizu cards, as you'll see. Those will help you unbrick yourself as far as not drawing into dead draws. So for the rest of the Naturia lineup, you're going to be running Naturia Blessing. So you're going to be running 3 of those. And then for the last 3, you're going to be running Naturia Sacred Tree. Now, Blessing and Sacred Tree, these are not once per turn cards, guys. So you can activate them multiple times in a turn. It's pretty busted. I think that they're excellent cards. You can't run anything less. So this is going to be your Naturia lineup. Now getting into the Verna Sylph cards. So for Verna Sylph, you'll be running 3 Verna Sylph Flourishing Hills. You're going to be running 3 Misting Seedlings. And then you're going to be running 2 of your Awakening Forests, 1 of your Thawing Mountains, And that's going to be pretty much it for your Vernisylph cards. Now your Thawing Mountains is going to be your search card. And for the other ones, they're going to help facilitate you get other cards onto the field and also search other cards as well. Vernisylph cards really add some versatility aspect to the deck, considering that everything you're running in the deck is Earth. It's either Earth Fairy, Earth Insect, or whichever. So it's really good. It's really good to have these cards in the deck because they work extremely well with the next lineup that I'm going to show you. Is they're going to work extremely well with your Ishizu package. Okay, so for your Ishizu package, you're going to be running 1 Agito, 3 Kelbeck, 3 Mudora, 3 Keldo. Okay, so they're all Earth Fairies. So it really helps keep the synergy within the deck. And I do recommend, if you're going to run the deck, that you should run them together, especially as we have the Ishizu package. Hopefully it'll still be around here by the time that, tier gets, a little bit kneecapped, and that way we can play a little bit more rogue coming up here in the meta. So yeah, I think all these cards have really great synergy. I really don't need to go over exactly what these cards do, but I do like the fact that everything is Earth Fairy, and that really does help out the deck in a whole. So now for your kind of, not necessarily your sideboard cards, but kind of your anti-strategy, kind of your good cards to go with. You're going to be running 3 Fenrir, 1 Goliath. And remember, you're running fairies, so you can run Herald of the Orange Light to help out with those monster effect negations. Okay. And then for your spells, your final spells for the deck, you're going to be running 1 1-for-1, 1 Gravekeeper's Trap, and then 1 Exchange of the Spirit. So that's going to be it for the main deck. As you know, that the Fenrir really helps kind of put a lot of pressure on your opponent, helps facilitate banishing a lot of cards. Also, your Goliath. You're probably wondering, oh man, how am I going to get that Goliath? Well, that's where your Vernisylph cards, they're generic Earth monster support. You're going to be special summoning this out of the grave and getting it on the field, and then that facilitates a really large lock on your opponent. This is something that they'll never truly expect, is that you locking down their special summons on your turn. Now remember that a Morphage Goliath, this is an Earth monster, okay? So Morphage Goliath is an Earth monster, so you can definitely use it in this strategy, which helps you to be more versatile and also be a little bit more offensive against your opponent as well. All right, so that's it for the main deck. That is 40 cards, I believe. That is 42. 42? Can't really remember. I believe it's 42. All right, on to the extra deck. So for your links, you're going to be running 1 Underworld Goddess, 1 Nightmare Unicorn, okay, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 IP Masquerena, and 1 Relinquished Anima. Now, you got a lot of level 1s. Your Mole Cricket is going to be a level 1. You have a couple other level 1s in there as well. As far as being able to use those to go into this, you can catch your opponent slipping. As far as your IP will be used to facilitate going into your underworld. You'll always have a lot of monsters on the field in this deck. They just seem to keep coming back and back and back. And I do recommend that you do run a Cerberus in your package as well, just to have be a little bit more versatile in your strategy. So we're gonna, for your XYZs, you're gonna be running 1 Baguska, 1 Tornado Dragon, 1 Abyss Dweller, okay? And these are pretty much self-explanatory and pretty standard as far as I'm concerned. And then for your synchros, and this is, you're gonna be running a Qinying, okay? So Qinying will help you apply a lot of pressure towards your opponent. They really don't want to see this card out there on the field, and that's a good thing for you, that is. 1 Trishula. You can definitely make Trishula in this deck, and this is something quite unexpected. And then Barkion, I believe that's standard, and then 1 Beast, and this should definitely be standard within your combo. Now, if you notice that is only 12 cards, the last 3 or whatever that you want to put them as, Okay, if you feel like you don't need any of these cards in here, feel free to change them out. If you feel like the main deck doesn't necessarily work for you as well, feel free to change those out. Remember what I said at the beginning of the video. Please make sure that you guys are liking and subscribing to the channel, please. It really helps. It really helps get my videos up there. It's really a big deal for me, and I really do like the fact that I'm getting a lot more support here. Feel free to join me on Facebook. I have YGO TCG Decks. That is the group. We're about 1,300 plus members strong. We could always do a lot better, but I do want to make sure that we are still focusing on building the community and keeping the conversations going. Once again, it's Patrick, better known as the old guy. Hey, I really do appreciate you guys tuning in for this one. I'll catch you at the next conversation. Peace.